It's the Josh Show, Season 3. I call this entire podcast designed to save the world or possibly end it. Brought to you in part by Blue Steel Productions. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Check out my page for more info. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Join me every Friday at 3 p.m. here, live on the Josh Show. You can find us everywhere. Join my evil empire today.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Josh Show. Today we were supposed to have a guest here today, but they gotten sick during Thanksgiving, so we're going to have them here in a couple of weeks. Hopefully, I have to reschedule with them. So, sorry that they got sick, but they were supposed to be here this morning, and due to flu, they can't be here, so we're going to have to move forward with just a standalone episode. Well, welcome, guys. Well, I was going to talk about giving thanks today and all of that stuff as well, and introduce you to a group, but that didn't happen today, so we're kind of going to go on the fly today. So this is kind of a random being thankful episode because I kind of had to plan on the fly. So thank you very much for coming here and joining me here today on the Josh Show. I really do appreciate that. Don't forget to like and subscribe my page right over here. You know, all these other buttons there. You know, don't forget to do this little square down here in the corner somewhere over. Yeah, somewhere right there. Backwards first. Tight. Anyway, just want to since I do have this opportunity, I want to talk about the homeless and people who are out there on the streets right now, especially in winter time, especially in times when this world a lot of us don't realize how much we actually have. You know, all of these things that we take for granted on a daily basis. You know, one Thanksgiving or one Christmas or sometime, I want you to go down to a homeless shelter and just volunteer or go see what it is like for people who live a daily basis without. You know, there are people out there who are living in maybe your tent right now in this cold weather. There are people out there who are trying to find a place in a homeless shelter or something like that. You know, I have a brother who was homeless for a couple of times in his life, and I've been homeless a couple times in my life. And then also my wife has had some experience with being homeless. Now, let me tell you a little bit about being homeless from my own personal experience. Now, granted, I wasn't homeless very long, okay? I was homeless for maybe couple of months here or there, but then my mom was really nice and let me stay with her in her house, and we worked something out. And then you know, yes, I was one of those dudes who lived with their mom until he was like 25, and then I lived in my own place. You know, technically I lived with my mom until I got married, but we lived in a duplex, so she lived on one side, I lived on the other side, so it wasn't like a bad thing there. You know, it was just one of those deals where it happened when it happened kind of deal. So, but let me tell you from my experience of being homeless, and this is what really, really, really woke me up, was when it was my turn to do that. Thankfully, like I said, my time was in summer, so I didn't have to deal with cold or anything like that. I dealt with a cold night here too. I would say I was homeless for maybe a week, 2 weeks, maybe if that. If I was homeless, you know, there. My brother was homeless for at least a year and a half, but he had mitigating circumstances, and I won't go into that because that's his story to tell, not mine. But he had committed a crime, and because of that crime, he couldn't find a place to live, and that's all I'm going to say about that. My wife was homeless for almost a year and a half because she had a mental breakdown before she met me. And the place that was keeping her was an assisted living, you know, place with, you know, where they did a lot of the stuff for, you know, they gave her one of these houses where it was low rent, low stuff, you know, kind of one of those, you know, low income housing kind of deals. Well, when she went to the hospital, she fell behind in bills, and she was in there long enough to where they kicked her out and threw away all of her stuff. And she literally started her life back with nothing again. And I guess why I'm so passionate about the homeless is because I grew up on food stamps my whole life. I've tried several times to get out of the low income kind of thing. I've worked jobs. I've worked lots of jobs, actually. I've done everything from fast food to bus driving. And I do this now because I'm bored and want something to do with my life. And then, stuff like that. But it is not an easy thing when, you're faced with it on a daily basis. And I'll tell you, after my experience of being homeless for that time, I really did start to appreciate how much I did have in my life. And it woke me up to kind of going, why am I doing this with my life? How did I end up here? A lot of self-blame, a lot of self-doubt in my life, and when you grow up without your whole life and you want to make it be something better in your life, you always try to strive for that thing that you really, really want. We all try our best. I'm not a smart man by any stretch of the imagination. I have developed learning disability. I also have memory issues. I have a lot of other things that go on with me. At that time, I was way more depressed and way more anxiety than I am now. And I'm just saying, what the fuck is this shit, And, to go through that experience. And then for about 5 years after I was homeless, I went down and I would volunteer at homeless shelters and even try to help some people out that I felt were worthy of a hand up or a hand out. You see these people on the streets with these signs and stuff like that look like they are actually homeless, not just some college kid out there trying to earn enough bucks for beer that night or whatever. It's kind of like one of those deals where these things that happen in our lives, you think you have it all, you think you got everything covered, and then something happens in your life that changes everything. I mean, maybe it's a financial issue, maybe it's a mindset issue, maybe it's a circumstantial issue, but no matter how you ended up being homeless, and those college kids on the street that may hold up the signs trying to get money for beer or whatever, that's fine, that's up to them. But there are some people out there who are honestly disabled. We talked about veterans the last time. Veterans are one of the highest rated people who are homeless in America. Okay, children are one of the homeless highest in America. And with all of the things that we have, here in America, you think it would be easy for us to come together and make it safe for people to live, make it people so that people can eat something every day, do something every day. If we gave, I don't understand sometimes why we can't give these homeless people, even if it's a job, sitting at a desk, folding papers for an hour to put out pamphlets for someone or something. Sometimes you got to think out of the box. And I'm not talking about the cardboard box you might live in. Cardboard box adventures are not fun for some people. Some people just don't want to be a part of society anymore, and they just don't have to worry about the bills or the stress that come with everyday life. Sometimes people find freedom in being homeless. Sometimes, for the lives that they had were way too much for them to handle, so they just say, you know what, I'm done with this shit, and I'm gonna go do something different. Maybe I'll go live in a warmer state, something like that. I've been on the brink of homelessness again maybe 5 or 6 times since then, but because just determination and sometimes going without for a little bit longer than I want to, but still having a place to stay, being thankful for those things are really what keeps me driving forward. And what a lot of people don't understand about the homeless or people who are homeless is sometimes it's a choice, sometimes it's not a choice. Sometimes it's because of drugs, alcohol, or other things. Sometimes it's because of their mental state or something like that. But it really boils down to this. I feel like I'm a failure in life. Somehow, some way, I did something and I deserve this. Now, maybe you did some horrible things in your past and you feel like this is the only way you can repay the world is by going without so that somebody else has what you don't need. One of the highest things in this world that we try to work on and live with and be with, is trying to find the solution that we need. And I'm not an expert on homelessness. I was, like I said, I was a short amount of time for being homeless. I didn't really have that long to wait before I was welcomed back into my mom's house, and I went and made a deal so that I could live with her again and stuff. And not like my mom was one of those mean moms who said you couldn't come home or anything like that. It was just at that time of my life, I was going through that mental, I don't think I deserve it, blah, 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 blah. I've always wanted to put myself in somebody else's shoes, kind of a thing, so go live in a homeless shelter for a while. But I didn't do that by choice. I kind of fell through the cracks a tiny bit. Now, I didn't tell anybody at the time I did that, I didn't have a pet or anything else to worry about, but I felt like at that point in my life, I wasn't worthy of anything better, and, it's kind of one of those deals where I keep thinking to myself what I could be doing different to get myself out of the situation I'm in now. Now I'm a little bit more disabled. I have back issues. I have can't stand or sit for long periods of time. Sometimes day-to-days can be different from one another. I have an invisible disease, but I also have a physical disease. If you watch me walk and stuff like that, it's kind of hard for me to walk and stuff depending on what I'm walking to or doing. So, but I'm not going to say I have it the worst of the worst. I don't. I am lucky enough to be here in my home right now with all the things that I am really, really thankful for, because you see a lot of this stuff in my room here, and you can see my wife's jewelry making stuff here. You can see the American flag. You can see my black jacket. You can see all my awards and paintings and stuff like that. You see this silly goofy thing here. Well, I'm a Wiccan, so I put off something there because I need to block the light out, but it's like this. I just want you to take into context what people are going through at this time of year too. People who are struggling with something in their life, and sometimes it's better to do something with them than for them. Like, okay, if you want to help a homeless person out and you've got the time, take them out to a restaurant where they can go sit down and eat in a nice warm place, get a nice warm meal, get freshly made. Go buy them a meal, even if it's right across from where they're sitting. As long as they're paying and they don't smell completely horrible. I mean, most restaurants will take into effect you're doing something kind for somebody else. Hell, McDonald's is fine. Go pick up McDonald's. Go pick up some kind of warm, hot food. When I went to New York City when I was 18 years old, because I had a dream. We all know about the dream, right? Well, I had a dream that kind of told me my one true love was in New York City. Well, of course, she wasn't there at the time, but, I'm one of those people who believe in the dreams and things that happened in my life. And that dream had gotten me to a certain place. So I thought, why not give it a try? I had the money and the wherewithal to go to New York City just for a visit. It was like a week or two out in New York City. I did a lot of growing up in New York City, but it was near Valentine's Day. I wanted to go near Valentine's Day. I wanted to see if I could find love in New York City on Valentine's Day. Kind of like, We Got Mail or something, some crap like that or whatever. But, it's important that, that even when I tried to follow my silly ass dreams to New York City or something like that, it was my goal to find that at that time. But when I was down there, I didn't find my one true love. I didn't find someone who was just going to go, oh, Josh, I've been searching for you all my life. Ha, ha, ha. Didn't happen. As much as I wish it had happened sometimes, I'm glad it didn't happen because I met the perfect woman for me a lot later in life. Now, yes, I wish I had met her sooner and all that fun stuff, but honestly, maybe I wouldn't have been ready for her until that point in my life. But the point I'm getting to is when I was in New York City, I had made a decision and a choice that if I couldn't find love, I was going to give love to somebody else that day. So here's Valentine's Day. I went to a deli right across the street from where I saw some homeless people sleeping in some stuff. It was a really cold day. I bought an entire freaking dinner for this person. I bought like a turkey dinner for someone. One was gamish corn hen, mashed potatoes, gravy, some soda, some drinks, and I went and bought this big thing. I spent like $50 to $100 on this meal because I still had some money left. It was near the end of my trip. I was going to go home soon, and I went out there to go have fun and went to go see what I could do. I also love New York City, so I wanted to go see New York City. So, you know, and I didn't do anything other than we had these little cards that showed our name for our class and where we were from that I put in because I've always been that guy who wants to at least let someone know who did this for them today. Didn't expect anything in return. No, don't ever expect anything in return for that. The ghosts are playing over here in the room again. Hey, stop that. Anyway. And so and I put this all in a plastic bag and I went and I was kind of like, I'm just gonna drop this inside of his thing, inside of his blanket fort that he had made, and I'm gonna walk away, and that's all I'm gonna do. So all he had to go on was this little card with my name on it, which is different than it is now because I changed my name from Joshua Adam Bleezy to Joshua Adam Thunders because I was a very angry child who didn't like his father at the time. And then I changed it back years later to Bleezy because then I realized what I was doing to myself and my father, but because I wanted to do something kind for somebody else and just wanted to give this person a meal on Valentine's Day. And, I started walking and he got up and he said, "Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate it, man. Thanks." And I said, "You're welcome. Happy Valentine's Day." And then proceeded to walk away. Now, that's the last I ever heard from that person. And never know him. He's never come find me and nothing like that has ever happened. Hopefully that Valentine's Day, he saw that somebody cared about him at least. That's all that I was really trying to do. I've done that throughout my life a couple of different times. I've given gifts away. I've given things away. Even though I don't have much in this world, I do try to give back to the world. Even the show is designed to give back to the world in some way. I'm trying to give you my voice, my opinion, my time. Do I expect anyone to come and flock to me like a flock of seagulls and worship me or anything like that? Oh yes, I wish I could. Oh, do I wish you would come and sign my Evil plan book and we can get this party started? But no. But the evil plan is really to get you all to come together and help one another. See the wheels turning here? Yeah, you're all confused right now. You're all like, "What's this guy talking about? Is he fucking nuts or something?" Like, swear to God. Yes, you're right. I'm nuts. I'm crazy. It's not so bad to be crazy in this world. It's not so bad. You live in your own little world and you don't hurt anybody. Who the heck cares what you imaginary person you talk to? No? Hi, audience. I'm actually talking to an audience. Normally, I don't do this with a camera. I do it with just my calendar in front of my screen, and I talk to the people over there. I talk to the people over there. I talk to the people back there. And I go, I am nuts. But you see, that's the fun part of being a person sometimes, like I've said a billion different times, a billion different ways. I don't want to go on a tangent of what I do and don't do all the damn time, good things and bad things I do all the time. It's not important that I take credit for everything that I've done in my life. That's not the most important to me. I know that I did something nice for somebody else. I went out of my way to give a gift to someone I loved or didn't even know. Oops, there goes nothing. Get back here. Sorry about that. Something fell down and I had to pick it up. Uh-oh. Watch out, your niece is awake. Run! But it's important that people realize that it's not always a choice in this world. People don't always want to go forward trying to give. Seems like the hardest thing you can do, especially when you're in need yourself. I think it's even more important to give when you're in need for yourself as well, because I do believe in the karmic law of what is given out to you comes back in return. I do believe in the golden rule: do unto others as they would do unto you. And so one of these things that we kind of live on and do every day, so Am I an expert at all of this stuff? No. Do I have doctorates and have I had knowledge of learning about how to do things? No, I don't always know all those things and do all those things. So, but it's important that we take the time to. Can you hear in the background, guys? Can you hear making all the silly noises? Okay. Hey, I'm on my show. Leave me alone. Okay, she gave me the old raspberry. But it's important that what I'm trying to put into your guys' mind here is I want you to really take an honest look at your life. Take a really good look at what you do have. When you start thinking things are going bad, when you think things are starting to go downhill, I want you to consider that your life could be way worse than it is right now. Even if this isn't the only life you get, and you get to go to heaven, this is still the only time you get to be here on earth. You might as well make it count to do something while you're here. I've always wanted to try to make a difference, try to do something to help people. This show isn't just born out of me having a massive ego, which I do. Look, a little Santa action for you. Look, the crazy hair. Ha 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 ha. Anyway, so but it's important that people realize that the amount of good they have in their lives. And I'm talking to the teenager. I'm talking to the person who thinks their life is so horrible right now because of the situation they're in. Do you have a home you're living in? Do you have a warm place to stay? Do you have a place where you can actually be and live and dream and it's healthy for you to live on? What is it going to take for you to finally see that you're going to be happy with the life that has been given you? For a long, long time, I worried about the things I didn't have. I'm worried about the things that I should be doing right or doing wrong or whatever. I was more concerned with my own ego, my own self for a short bit of time there. But I've always been someone who's tried to do more for others than he does for himself. And that comes out of a place of being without most of my life, because I didn't grow up with a lot. I saw other people who didn't have a lot. And when I had more than I needed at the time, I always felt the need to give back to someone who was, more in need than I was at the time. Have I done that to my detriment sometimes? Yeah, I've done it to my detriment sometimes. I've given a little bit too much sometimes. And sometimes I shouldn't have given some things to people that probably didn't deserve it, but that's okay. It's not about when we say giving thanks and thankful for all that we have, I just want you to know that it doesn't take a lot to give. Giving your time, sitting down with that homeless person and just talking with them in a warm car. I mean, if that's the way you go out and you just, it's nothing more than giving someone a chance to warm up in your car. You park your car across the street where they can park. You say, come on in, come warm up for a bit. Here's some coffee. Here's a donut. Just warm up for half an hour and be okay with what's going on there, that's the most important part of it, I wish I could make people understand what it's like to live a life where you constantly strive for better, but you never quite get there. You're always striving to make life better. You're always striving to make things be better in your life. But as hard as you try, as much as you do, as much as things happen, and I'm not a conspiracy nut, no one's trying to do this against me, no one's trying to ruin my life or anything like that. I used to think like that. I used to think they were responsible for all the things happening in my life, And I says, well, you know what? They just gave me all the choices I needed eventually, and once in a while they give me subtle hints or clues on how I can be happy. Now, whether I believe it's my personal deity or if it's myself doing that, whatever, but it doesn't matter whether you go to another place or you stay in this place, or you go to heaven, you go to hell, whatever the case may be. That's up to what kind of goes on there. But honestly, it's about finding the balance in your life, the best parts of your life, and being okay with those best parts of your life. And when the negative things come into your life, use them as catalysts to change, grow, or to fight your way out of sometimes. So, it's important that we take these moments and times to appreciate that. And it sounds like I'm kind of going on a tangent, but I am. It's a tangent because you know what? It's about giving myself permission to like and show my compassionate heart, to show and like my compassionate dreams. So, all I'm trying to do here is get you guys to open up your mind to the possibilities that things that we could be doing to make this world a better place. There are things that we can honestly be doing to start, getting our lives to go in a better direction, in a more positive direction, And are those always the best things in the world that we know how to do and love and things? Well, that's up to you to decide. If you come here and you watch my show, and I really want to thank you for coming and watching my show because, it's a thing that I'm passionate about. It's my way of trying to impact the world even from my home, Come on, just get in here already. I don't have any smoke stuff for you left now. I have to go out and find some, so. Okay, carry on. So I don't have anything for you right now. If you want to just grab that stuff and put it on the floor for now, I'll move it later. So Eunice is here saying hi real quick.
Hi.
And we're almost done with the show, so that's okay. But what I was talking about is just giving thanks for all the stuff we do have in our lives, and kind of gonna wrap this around because I'm getting to my time here. My guest got sick on Thanksgiving, so we had to just do a standalone episode. So kind of had to pull this one together out of my butt. But just want to remind you that being thankful for the things that we do have in our lives is things that we need to start reconsidering, because that's how you're going to find the hope to drive yourself forward to the next stage that's going to bring you even more joy and more prosperity. You've got to strive for something better. Even if it's a tiny bit better every day, it's something that's a tiny bit better every day, and you just got to think about all the people out there who don't have what you want. There are people out there who would trade their lives in an instant for yours. There's parents out there who wish they could say their child didn't die of cancer, and they would love to trade your lives to have their child but still be homeless. They'd probably take that deal in a heartbeat. If it meant that they could be together and be, live together on the streets or whatever that meant for them, that's something that we got to start thinking about, the things that we do have in this life, the things that we do have available to us. We have a lot more available to us now than we ever did before. Now we're starting to get smarter about the things that we have and try to be, a little bit more open about things that are, that we actually need. There's a lot of people who want lots of stuff out there. Okay, that's great. You want something, then you have to go get it a little bit. Now, hopefully you choose a way that doesn't hurt anybody to do that, but I know there are people out there who will. Scam artists and stuff like that are going to be out there. People who want to take advantage of you are going to be out there because they're so desperate for any kind of help, they're willing to do anything. And I've been there a couple of times. Trust me, I've been there a couple times where I just almost said, screw the world, fuck you all, go to hell. I'm going to do whatever it takes to get where I need to go. And if that means I have to hurt people to do it, well, that's what I'll have to do. I've said that phrase exactly in my life. And you know what? It lasted for about a week. And then I said, what am I doing with myself here? And, that's not exactly how I want to live my life, So on this special day after Thanksgiving, I just wanted to say thank you all for coming and watching my show. Thank you for liking and subscribing. Don't forget to share this one with your friends, families. I want to wish you all a happy Thanksgiving. And I have a couple of good interviews coming up. I have Steve Spurgeon coming up. He's a first responder artist who goes around singing Wake Up America. He's coming up on December 2nd. And then I have another guest coming on, and his name is I lost my brain for it here. Michael. And he's a home he sells homes in North Carolina, I'm sorry, I'm losing my brain because I just got brain fart. You know how that goes with me right now, guys. But I just want to thank you all for coming, and then maybe Captain Verts will be here in a couple of weeks. So we'll have to see if they can reschedule for a different time and stuff like that. So hopefully you'll see them in a thing ready to go. So I really want to say thank you once again, and we'll see you soon. Thank you for watching the Josh Show. Don't forget, you have to come here and stop my evil plan while you can. Come watch the Josh Show every Friday at 3 p.m., usually live, and we'll talk to you then. Don't forget, we'll see you soon.